after hearing from constituents like this.
You are doing us a disservice to set that down and not stand up for us.
Republicans are now hitting the brakes on in-person town halls. That's after several Republican members received quite a bit of pushback over President Trump and Elon Musk's cuts to the federal government. And that has led to viral clips, negative headlines, and overall public blowback that Republicans worry could end up costing them votes. Now, GOP aides have told us that has led leaders to encourage their colleagues in the House to avoid this format altogether. They've even gone as far as to say that if they feel the need to have a town hall, they should do it virtually or even vet the attendees before they get in the room. But even those...
Do your job! Do your job! Do your job! Do your job! Do your job!
And another thing I need Republicans to stop doing, stop going to town halls and mentioning DOGE. DOGE is the Department of Government Efficiency. Americans do not like DOGE, even the ones that voted for Donald Trump. DOGE right now is like the department that attacks poor people and marginalized people, right? We have the wealthiest man in all of the world taking jobs, money, and resources from poor people, middle-class people, people who are just trying to take care of their family and raise their children. Every single time you see a Republican congressman talk to his constituents, and the minute they mention DOGE, the audience, the constituents go crazy. They start yelling, they start fussing, they start getting upset because Americans do not approve of DOGE, okay? Elon Musk approval rating is like very, very low. Very, very, very low. Okay? It is the reason I don't understand why people voted for this administration. People voted for the administration for a lot of different reasons. The main reason, in my opinion, is race and sexism. But they voted because, some of them voted because they felt like it was waste in the federal government. And so they wanted someone to go in and look at the waste, evaluate the waste, and cut the fat, right? What Elon Musk is doing is not that. Elon Musk is just randomly cutting programs. He don't know what these people do. He don't know what their jobs entail. He's just randomly firing people because he can, because he's powerful and he can. And Donald Trump gave him the platform to do it. How do you evaluate and fire and let go an entire department in a couple of weeks? You don't know what jobs they do. You don't know what responsibilities they have. You don't know how important their jobs are to the country, to that particular organization. There's no committee. There's no board. There's nothing put in place to go and actually evaluate what's going on in each department, because there's a way to do this. There's a way to cut the fat. It needs to happen. But the way they're doing it, no. It's not efficient. It's not productive. It's causing chaos, because the way that you do it, you orchestrate a committee, you put people together, they go in and they evaluate. They look at each person's job, they look at each person's task, what the person is responsible for, what they're responsible for, how long it takes them to do that particular task. And for instance, let's say I work in finance, right? I run reports, Excel spreadsheets, all of the things. So your job tells you, my job, I love it because my job is very lenient. I've been working in the field for a long time. So this is not how my job works, but this is how jobs that I've had in the past work. This is what they do. They look at your job, right? They say, you are responsible for this. You're responsible for these, just let's say 10 things. These 10 things you should be able to get done in 6 hours. So this particular task should take you 40 minutes. This particular task should take you an hour and a half. This particular task should take you 20 minutes. That's how you evaluate. And you say, if it takes you 3 days to do a task that should take you 4 hours, that's a problem. And so we need to see what you're doing. We need to do an analysis of how long it's taking you to do it, how long we think it should take you to do it, and what are the root causes to What's the issue? Why are you not able to get this taken care of in this allotted amount of time? What issues that you're having? What are you experiencing? This is how companies and organizations work. When they're working efficiently, when they're working effectively. And these things take months. And we're just talking about a regular, say for instance, you work at a bank and you're working in middle office and you're running reports for traders or whatever. And so your company sit down and say, okay, this is the allotted amount of time that you have. This is the time that it took you. So you should have been able to complete this task in an hour and a half. It took you 4 hours. Why did it take you 4 hours? What were you working on? What were the roadblocks? What were you doing that caused you to go over the time or whatever the case? It's an evaluation that's done to make sure that the employees are being effective and efficient. And that's reasonable. What is not reasonable is coming in and in 2 to 3 weeks firing hundreds of people, thousands of people. How? What legwork did you do? What committee did you put in place? How were you able to do that for all of these huge organizations in 3 weeks? It's not being done. What they're doing is saying, we want to downsize the government. Okay, so you fire. Okay, you fire too. I'm not exactly sure what you do, but you can go too. That's what they're doing. And it's the reason why the American people are pissed off. So Republicans, stop going to your constituents and saying DOGE. Stop. Because every time you say that phrase, people start yelling at you and kicking and screaming. And I hope that they turn all of that advocacy to the voting booth and vote y'all ass out. Because you're trying to take up for a man, or you're trying to push this narrative that Elon Musk is doing a great job, and he's not. And Americans know it. So stop saying it. And this is another thing. Americans' obsession with rich people, their obsession with celebrity. Why? Let's talk about this genius thing briefly. People have this thing like, oh, Elon's a genius. You can be a genius at innovation and building cars and not understand any fucking thing about the government. Why do you guys think that translates? People are so basic in their thinking. It's like, oh, he's the richest man in the world. He must know how to run the government. No! Like, what the fuck? Like, it would be funny if it wasn't so dangerous. Just because he can build those ugly ass cars does not mean he knows how to run the government. I said in my last video, and I'm going to keep saying it, the problem is education. I know it sounds mean, and I don't mean to be mean, but people are stupid. They are. They're stupid. Not everybody, of course not. But we have a lot of people who look at people and say, oh, well, he got $1 billion. He must know a whole lot of stuff. Research billionaires and how they get their wealth. Just research it, read it, try to understand it, how billionaires actually get their wealth. A lot of times it has nothing to do with intelligence, not intelligence in the way that you're thinking, not the way that you're thinking. Just because you have a niche, something that you're very good at. Apparently this man is phenomenal at whatever, building cars and all that shit. Them cars are ugly to me. I could never, but you know, y'all have at it. But just because he can build ugly cars doesn't mean that he's a brainiac and he's brilliant and he's smart and he knows how to do everything. He is great at building cars. Let him go build cars. He's great at innovation. Let him go do that. But that does not mean that he's great at our government, obviously. So Republicans, congressmen, stop going to your constituents and saying DOGE. Don't say that word. The Department of Government Efficiency, don't say DOGE. Because the second you guys say DOGE, what I'm going to show you, that happens. So you probably should stop saying that. And I hope when it's time for you to be reelected, I hope your constituents remember this time. Because everybody's mad now. Everybody upset now. are they going to be mad enough to go to the voting booth? I think when you start taking people's money away, because just randomly firing people and treating federal workers as if they are like some kind of parasites that's leeching off the government is so disgusting. These people are servants. And I'm not saying there's not waste. That's not what I'm saying at all. Because I believe I've been down to the DMV. I mean, that's state, but you know, the state, federal, inefficient. I've been to the freaking Secretary of States. I've been to DMVs. I've been to organizations that's ran by state politicians, local politicians, federal politicians, and they do not run well. So yes, there's ways, but doing it like this is not the way to do it. It's just not. It's not the way to do it. I wanted to bring that to you guys because I was watching a clip and a Republican was talking to his constituents, and he said the word, well, he said DOGE, and those people flipped out, just flipped out. And I was just like, sir, just don't say the word. Just don't say the word, because nobody wants to hear that word. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.